These headlines are driven by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford, we know trucks. The big news today in South Florida, the Dolphins have agreed to terms with Odell Beckham Jr. 1-year deal. The base is $3 million. Incentives can make it up to $8.25 million.
They have a offensive juggernaut on paper, at least. No, you're rolling your eyes, Solana?
I don't think this takes them from like great offensive team to best offensive team in the NFL.
But on paper, the offensive side of the ball, I'm talking about your weapons like Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert. Now you add Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, Jonnu Smith, honestly, gives you a target at tight end. Tua led the league in stats. Like, that's an offensive juggernaut.
They were one of the best offenses. Tua had the most passing yards of any quarterback in the league, Solana, and now you add Odell Beckham and Jonnu Smith. Like, it is going to be right now as we sit here. It's going to be a top 5 offense. They're going to score points. We got to stop some other people from scoring points.
Right, but we saw like one of their biggest deficiencies was late in the season, right? When they needed to be able to run the football. If one of your wide receivers isn't healthy, Jalen Waddle has not proven he could stay healthy throughout the course of a season. And Tyreek Hill at the end of the year was unhealthy as well. Protection comes into play a lot more than it does earlier in the season where Tua is just getting the ball out quickly. And who is going to be your every down back? Is it Raheem Mostert? Can he stay healthy throughout the course of a season with the workload he got? Can Devon Achane stay healthy? Like, I'm just saying, I think some of the questions we had about this team when late November, December comes around, you saw their offense struggle. How have they addressed that? If it's Jonnu Smith, I'm down. Like, I like that.
I'm just saying on paper, they've got weapons. Now, can the offensive line protect Tua, like you say, or give you any kind of run game? We'll see.
Yeah.
Can the guys stay healthy? We'll see. But on paper, you have to admit, I mean, that's some pretty good skill position players.
It's impressive. Yeah. You can't look at this offense and not say, just on paper and say, wow, I mean, they were great last year. How are they not going to be great again this year?
When Jalen goes down or if Tariq goes down, now OBJ is going to have to step into that place. When Raheem, who led the NFL,
step into display.
Display.
He's going to be on display.
A little display for both of them. If Raheem gets hurt,
listen, you guys jumped all over me for food whore.
If Raheem gets hurt, Achane has to be there. Achane was one of the most explosive running backs in the league last year before his injury, but now they just drafted that little guy out of Tennessee. So it's not like 1, 2, 3. It's if somebody goes down, it's really 2. There's a number 1 and a number 2. Number 3 can be any damn body in the world. But if Tyreek's not there or Jalen's not there, now OBJ is the number 2 behind Tyreek. And now Achane gets hurt. Now you have the little boy from Tennessee coming up. Jonnu Smith is the most explosive, physically dominant tight end that I would honestly say, I don't know, let me know if I'm wrong. He's the most physically dominant tight end Mike McDaniel has ever had at the tight end position because Jonnu Smith is a physical monster. Like, that's what Hoch's talking about. I'm with Hoch. Like, on paper, this offense looks unstoppable.
Solana will never be sold because Tua's at quarterback. That's what the bottom line is here. He's not really caught up on any of that other than the fact that the quarterback is Tua and he hates him.
I don't hate Tua, but I want to see this. Like, I'm sorry. I want to see this team win a playoff game. And until they prove that they can't go win a playoff game, I'm going to have my doubts. Next year, they can put up 270 burgers against bad teams. They can start the season 10-0. But until they go through November and December playing that same caliber of football, which they failed to do a year ago, they win the division, they put themselves in a good spot to win a playoff game, host a home playoff game, and do so, I'm going to have my doubts. I'm sorry. I'm done playing this game for 24 years where I fell into the trap this year. Oh, they beat the Broncos. They put up 70 points. Oh, best offense in the league. Oh, Tua's breaking all those offensive records. I fell into the trap again this year. And how did it leave me? With the exact same feeling I had every year. You had a perfect opportunity to run away with the division, 3-game lead going into the final 4 games, and you pooped yourself. And then you went into a playoff game. I don't care how cold it was, you lost. It's the same thing over and over. So until they prove that they can take that leap, just win one playoff game. That's it. I'm gonna have my doubts.
It's that Tennessee game. That's the one you're talking about. Because Buffalo, Kansas City late, like, yeah, we understand. Baltimore already was rolling, but that Tennessee game was, but that was the defense. What they give up 17 points in 4 minutes? Like, it was just,
but you can also get some first downs and run out the clock on the offensive end.
But we're 8 minutes away from talking about this differently, and that's to your, I'm not arguing, but to your point, Solana, that's the hump that you're speaking about getting over. It's 20 minutes of football in a season that you have to change, and this whole thing is talked about differently.
Tennessee loss is brutal, and you're probably right, but the teams we want to compete with in December and January are who? The Baltimore Ravens, the Kansas City Chiefs, and no matter how bad Buffalo looked, the Buffalo Bills. And your 3 opportunities.
And now they have Chase Claypool.
Right. Total game changer.
Yeah. We
your
saw
3
that
opportunities
in the last game with the Dolphins.
In December and January to go up against those 3 teams, the creme de la creme of the AFC. What'd you do? Nothing.
I'm with Solana because I'm there with the Hurricanes. Everyone's excited about the Hurricanes again. Cam Ward now. We finally have a quarterback who's like a pro quarterback. But I'm kind of with Solana. I'm not going to get fooled again. So I understand what he's saying. Like, I'll do it in August when they're playing the Gators because that's what I do. But I'm really like, I'm okay. Prove it to me. I enough paper stuff, enough NIL stuff, enough transfer portal stuff. Like, I please let me see something.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got to do. And the AFC is a monster too. That's the sad part. I would love to go to the NFC right now. The AFC is hell.
Yeah, give me the NFC South any day, bro. The Dolphins, the Dolphins would win that division without Tua. Put Skyler at the helm.
4-13 could win that division. Like, it's AFC South.
What conference is FIU in again?
Conference USA.
Oh, put the Canes in Conference USA. They run directly to a national championship.
I don't know about that because the last couple times you played Conference USA teams, shall I remind you?
Yeah, I know.
About Middle Tennessee. And,
shall I remind you?
Shall we go down that path, Hoch?
All right, cancel that guy's discount at the food whore.
Hoch, no joke though, because I'm in a Canes football chat, and they sent 24/7 Sports Miami's season prediction. They have them going 9-3, but their losses are to USF, and not that this matters, but just to give you an idea, their losses are to USF, Louisville, and FSU, and then they have them beating UF, Virginia Tech, Cal, Duke, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, and Syracuse. And I'm like, you know what? If I'm a Canes fan, I'll take 9-3. Fine. It's a huge improvement over the last 2 years, but 3 years now of Cristobal to go 0-3 against FSU, I think would look bad. And also the Canes haven't proven that they can just run through the ACC outside of FSU. Like, they haven't proven they can beat Duke, Georgia Tech, Syracuse, Wake Forest, no matter what those programs look like.
Well, and very, very similar, I think, to the Dolphins loss that we're talking about, like the Tennessee loss, was the non-timeout, the non-kneel down for Mario. Like there are parts where you look at the season, you go, you're talking about it completely differently if you don't just crap the bed in just an insane fashion, which is what happened with the Dolphins in Tennessee and what happened with the Canes a couple of times, to be quite honest. So I understand where you're coming from, but yours is Tua based.
It's not Tua based. It's just everything. It's just everything.
The ones that hurt are the ones that you could have won.
You had dubs.
If you get run off the field, like it was even being a Gator, like playing Georgia for these last couple of years. I'm sitting there at halftime and I'm telling people, hey, let's get another shot because this isn't going to end up well. Just watching the competition. But to your point, yeah, it's some teams that are out there better than you, but then there's games you should win. And should have won more games than they did last year.
My friend Justin.
And also, y'all just think y'all about to run through the Gators in August? Y'all think y'all you're about to go to the swamp, Hoch.
I don't know who's on that thread.
And just run through the Gators in the swamp. That's what y'all believe is about to happen.
It could be Valentina and Eduardo, and I don't know who's on that thread.
Crowder, come on, bro. The Gators are going to win 3 games this year if they're lucky.
You believe
Crowder.
that Cam Ward is about to walk into the swamp and just whoop the
Crowder.
Gators' ass in
Do
the
you
swamp.
remember what
Game
happened with
one.
UF last year? Do you remember what happened? Is your CTE flaring
The
up
last
here? You don't
time
remember
we
what
played,
happened?
the last time we played, we wore y'all ass out in Orlando.
All right, but Manny Diaz was the head coach, and you're playing at that stupid
last
Citrus
time
Bowl.
we played, I'll bring up the Brock Berlin game if you want to go way into the past. I got a montage
30
I can
years
fire
ago.
up. My friend Justin, who's the biggest Canes fan I know, texted me, Solana has you on this one. Let it go. And he's talking about the Conference USA argument I was making.
Yeah, sorry. I think you guys are
I
0-4.
withdraw the comments. Yeah, I withdraw the comments.
I think you're 0-4 in your last 4 games against Conference
I withdraw
USA.
the comments.
Yeah,
Apologize.
so Conference USA got y'all, but SEC is going to just be a walk in the park. Get the hell
Oh,
out of here.
SEC is a shell of what it used to be.
Get the hell out of here.